Hey yo incredible people, it is I, Incredimations. Today I decided to do the 10 art style challenge. What is the 10 art style challenge? It's a challenge where you draw your persona in many different art styles. Without further ado, let us begin. Alrighty-o, so the first art style I've decided to do is my art style. I found that this one would be a good warm-up to do before I started moving on to the different art styles. There's lots of round shapes in the eyes, hair, and face in my art style. It's a very cute and overall fun and cartoony art style to draw in. Next up, we have my personal favorite cartoon, the Steven Universe art style. When I was first drawing this, I was initially really worried that this would look too much like my art style since I was very inspired by the Steven Universe art style while developing my art style. However, there are surprisingly a lot of differences. Some of these include the eye shapes, the nose, and the heart-shaped mouth. I really love the Steven Universe art style. I mostly based off myself from Steven and Pearl from Steven Universe, and yeah, I think this drawing turned out very well. Alrighty-o, now we have the Star vs. the Forces of Evil art style. I found that this one overall went very well. I love the eye pupils in this art style. The head I did has a very sharp jaw, but it's mostly rounded. It's mostly based off Janet from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. The hair is also very round, and I overall really enjoyed this one. Alright, now we got my favorite video game, the Splatoon art style. Basically, I just drew myself as an Octoling with an Octoling afro and all. I did some Splatoon clothes in the game as well. I don't have much to say. This was just an overall fun art style to draw. Now we got our first anime art style, the My Hero Academia art style. I really like drawing in this art style. The way the eyes are drawn is a slightly more complex version of mine. I also really like drawing the mouth and stuff. Most importantly, I had a lot of fun coming up with my own quirk. So basically I have the ability to twist my limbs and control leaves. Basically I call this Twisty Leaf. This art style was great to draw and was even better coming up with my own quirk. Next up, we have the Adventure Time art style, which is probably the simplest one to do out of all of them. This one I found really easy to stay true to the original art style since it's so simple and all. I really love drawing all the noodle arms and legs and the dotted eyes and stuff. It's simple yet effective. It's quite a fun one to do. Next up, we have the Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast art style, which by the way is a super underrated show. It's one of the best cartoons I've seen in a while. Anyway, I found that there are quite a bit of sharp edges in this art style, especially seen in the eyes. I also noticed that they add wrinkles in the clothing, unlike most cartoons. It's overall a very unique and fantastic art style. Alrighty-o, now we got our second anime art style, the Little Witch Academia art style. I found the eyes to be fairly similar to my art style, but with pupils. I also found this one very difficult to replicate since I don't draw anime art very much, but I thought it turned out to be really good overall. Next up, we got the Shira and the Princesses of Power art style. This cartoon has a very similar art style to anime in ways. It's definitely got a very unique art style. I based off this character mostly from Bow and also parts of Glimmer as well. And there are a lot of little details of this art style that I just really love. Like I love all the eye details and especially the little shadow that's just above the nose. It really stands out and makes this a great art style. And finally, we got the Owl House art style. This art style was a lot of fun to do. The mouths on some of the characters in the show, like Luz, look very unique, so I added that. There's also some smaller details in the eyes and the ears that I added. It's kinda similar to some other art styles like Star vs. the Forces of Evil and Little Witch Academia in ways, but it was still quite a bit of fun doing this art style. And that's my attempt at the 10 art style challenge. This was a really fun challenge to do and I highly recommend attempting it if you want to challenge yourself. It helps you improve your art by experimenting with other styles. Seeing how vastly different my art style is with the emphasis of round shapes versus something like Keepo's with the more sharp shapes was very interesting. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day and see ya later!